You can already get some legendary weapons and a legendary item very early in Cyberpunk and make a ton of money if you know where to look. So in this video I quickly want to go over the early legendaries, how you can get them, and just overall how to get some amazing items early on. A like on the video would really help the channel out. And let's go. Maybe you already talked to the coach the moment you left your apartment for the first time. Very early on in the game, he gives you the beat on the bread job, but also sells melee weapons, and here you can already see a legendary baseball bat. But also the gun shop close to your apartment that you have to visit for the main story as well already sells a legendary version of the Unity gun. And you can get them already early if you got the money, and getting money in this game is surprisingly easy. Go to the map and then filter to only show open world activities, and now you will only see blue dots that represent crimes that are nearby. So go and do them, because per crime you get 1,000 or mostly like 2,000 eddies. And they take around 5 minutes to complete. Crimes are just a group of enemies that you have to take out. So do that and then loot them as well. Like loot everything in the environment, because they will get a ton of items that you can disassemble. You can sell these items too, but the amount of money you get is not really a lot. So I think it's smarter to focus on disassembling and to get some components that you can use for crafting. And by the way, before you disassemble any of these items, make sure that you unlock the mechanic perk in the crafting section of the character menu, because then you will get more components from every item you disassemble. To complete crimes, you need to interact with a box or sometimes a person, and then you also get some really nice gear items, weapons, and also a ton of money. After you complete one crime, just filter the map and then go to a blue dot again and then rinse and repeat. Having extra capacity is also great because you will be like looting a ton. So being able to carry more is great. It's this perk over here in the body tab. And then after doing a ton of these crimes, you will have a lot of components from disassembling weapons. Maybe you found some nice new weapons. You got likely some new outfit pieces that give you more armor. And you will also have a ton of money. So now you can spend that on any early legendary weapon that you can buy at a weapon vendor. Like that baseball bat we talked about earlier. It has physical damage, crit chance, crit damage, and also a 20% bleeding chance, which is pretty nice, so then the enemy will just die from this AoE effect. Like, I kill enemies here in 1 or 2 hits with this baseball bat. It's really powerful, and overall it's nice to have a blunt weapon in your inventory, because it will not kill enemies. There are, for example, psychos that you have to track and defeat for one of the jobs, but for the mission it is preferred that you do not kill them, so then using a blunt weapon instead is great. Another early legendary you can get is the Unity pistol, and this again at the weapon vendor close to your apartment over here on the map. And you can see me check the weapon shop at level 3 and now at level 8, and then the quality of the weapon is actually increased based on your level. So you can wait and then get the weapon later, but it will be more expensive then as well. Maybe you already found a Unity pistol in other rarities. It's a standard pistol, but in the legendary quality it's pretty powerful thanks to the many extra stats that the weapon then has. Like in my case, I have terminal damage, crit damage, bonus ricochet damage, and the burn chance is awesome too, so 10% per shot that the enemy catches fire. Focusing on headshots with this gun will deal some surprising damage, so it's a pretty great gun all around. But I did toy around with the DR5 Nova legendary weapon as well, and that one is even better. So you can buy this one over here on the map at the weapon vendor. He is down here, so you have to open a door first to reach him, and then spend the money on this amazing revolver. Like, this gun is insane because of the very high terminal damage roll that I got, amazing crit chance, crit damage, the very high bonus ricochet damage, still that 10% burn chance, although with this gun I had the idea that it would trigger more often, so then enemies will just be unable to do anything and die from the damage over time. And also the 2 headshot damage multiplier is really nuts. Like, take the time to aim for the head or stand close to the target and you will instantly take them out at the cost of just 1 bullet. This is totally the best legendary weapon that I tried so far, so it will help you a ton throughout the game. And by the way, you can level up these weapons too and increase their damage in the crafting menu, but you need the legendary components for that. And I think you get that from disassembling legendary weapons, so I don't think it's really worth to do that like early on in the game, but I still wanted to let you know that it's possible later on if you really like one particular weapon. Before I look at more legendary weapons that you can get early on, I want to let you know about an early legendary cyberware that we found that seems really powerful. Like, I missed it while doing the crime, so keep an eye out. It's over here on the map. It's on a dock. You find some parked cars here, containers. So after taking out all the enemies here, totally loot, of course, their weapons as well, then you will find a locker that actually always seems to have a legendary Rin3U battery. A cyberware mod that you can put on one of the items, but so far, I'm just not sure which one it is. The effect, though, is insanely powerful. Defeating an enemy fully restores stamina, so having this equipped is going to be great. And if you found out where to put it, totally let me know in the comments down below, or reach out to the input@JorRaptor.com email address. And you can, of course, send everything you found in Cyberpunk that might be of value to that email address, and then I might highlight it in a future video and shout you out, of course. There's another weapon vendor you can already visit early on in the game. It's over here on the map. And this one sells 2 legendary weapons. One is a knife that I don't think is worth the money. Like, for one, this melee weapon is of course lethal, so you don't have the perk from the melee blunt weapons, but you still need to be in someone's face. It has 20% bleeding chance, which is great, but you want to take an enemy out as soon as possible because you are an easy target, so you don't really want to rely on damage over time. So yeah, not worth getting this one in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. The SMG though is pretty awesome. It's called the DS1 Pulsar, a power weapon with electro damage and also shock chance in my case. But that might not be on your weapon. Like, I also visited the shop on level 4 and then the weapon had chemical damage. So I think the perks are just randomly rolled, while you will still of course see the weapon in the shop. But even with different elemental damage, it's still very nice to hold this gun. It already deals quite a lot of damage on its own. So now in my case, I have a chance to trigger the shock as well. It's really nice, but overall the biggest difference between regular weapons and legendary weapons are the amount of mod slots on a legendary weapon. And that is just something you will not really notice early on in the game, because the moment you put a mod on a weapon, you will not be able to remove it. So careful with that. If you got a good mod, don't put it on like a crappy weapon, because yeah, you want to put it on legendary weapons. Although even if you get like an early legendary weapon, maybe not put a lot of mods on it unless you really like aim to like improve it over the course of the game. Again, if you found some awesome weapons, let me know in the comments down below, or via that input@JorRaptor.com email address. Subscribe for way more Cyberpunk 2077 content if you haven't already. Way more tips and tricks are coming your way. A like on the video would really help the channel out. And check out my previous Cyberpunk video by clicking on the screen. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.